The Yellow Jackets have won 6 straight, now looking to bag their first ranked win of the season. They'll take their shot tonight against a Bulldogs team looking to extend their best start in a dozen years from Mewborn Field. It's Georgia Tech versus number 19, Mississippi State. And we're glad to have you along. Andy Demetra, Jess Sinclair from Atlanta. And Jess, Georgia Tech played some spotless softball last weekend, undefeated in the I-75 tournament. And the sophomore Alyssa Willer continues to deliver damage at the top of the order.
Yeah, Alyssa Willer has had a hot start. She had an exceptional weekend in the I-75 challenge. She is somebody who is the tone setter for the Georgia Tech offense. She leads off and she leads categories. She has the best batting average, she has the most home runs, the most RBIs. She is just killing it right now in the start of her sophomore year. 24
RBIs, top 10 in the nation. Meanwhile, Mississippi State comes in hitting .366. You lean on your veterans early in the season to set the tone, and the senior Kira Sells has done that.
Yeah, Sells is a big swing potential for the Bulldogs. You see her power numbers there. She's in the 3-hole tonight, so she's somebody to pay attention to when she steps in the box.
Mississippi State embarking on 11 straight games away from Starkville. Here's how head coach Samantha Ricketts draws out the lineup card. The dangerous Morgan Stiles leads off. She's reached safely 14 of 15 games. The all-SEC third base from just outside of Atlanta, Nadia Barbary bats second, followed by Sells, Carter, the DP tonight. Rivera bats behind her. Bernardini, Richardson, Keller, and Schaefer round things out. And the person in charge of trying to tame these hot Mississippi State bats, she was lights out last weekend. Madeline Johnson, the reigning ACC Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah, she's a JMU transfer. She has been a huge addition to the pitching staff for the Yellow Jackets this season. She picked up 15 Ks over the weekend. She really has a phenomenal off speed to keep batters off balance, and then she will work up in the zone as well for a strikeout pitch with her rise ball. So we'll see that tonight.
A strikeout per inning did not allow a run earned or unearned across 3 appearances last weekend as Stiles stands in, and we are underway. She goes with the off speed for strike 1. Stiles, the Bulldogs' dynamic leadoff hitter, especially dangerous in the first inning. She is 7 for 11 this year in the first. Hughes went off the first base line. It's gloved by Lesper, but she cannot spin, make a throw to the bag, and right on cue, Stiles is aboard.
And that's what Stiles is trying to do. She's really just trying to get on base. She has scored 9 of the 14 times she's got on base in her first at bat. The Bulldogs really score a lot in the first inning, which is impressive.
Yeah, you know, sometimes they're trying to feel out an opposing pitcher, but Mississippi State, they jump right in, and they are right at home. They've outscored opponents 29-1 in the first inning this year as the third baseman Nadia Barbary stands in. Second team All-SEC last year, the native of Douglasville, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. She fouls one straight back. The count even at 1. Barbary, 38 career doubles. That's 9th in school history. And Mississippi State does not mind dictating the terms in the opening inning. He's off, takes low, 2-1. Georgia Tech 11-2 at Mewborn Field this year. Only losses have come to ranked SEC teams. Another opportunity tonight as Johnson delivers. Rolled out to Tucker at third, snaps it to second for 1. Relays not in time. Jackets force out Stiles at second for out number 1.
Yeah, this will be a really good test of the Yellow Jackets offense and their pitching staff, really to see what Johnson's pitching matches up against these bigger ranked opponents. She does a good job of locating that pitch low and inside. Barbary not able to really get her barrel out in front. It'll be interesting to see how she does with these hitters.
And she gets a wave and miss from Kira Sells, the senior from Jasper, Texas. Started all 57 games in right field last year, tied for the team high with 11 home runs, already 4 this season. Bulldogs off to their best 15-game start since 2014, and number 19 in some polls, but in the coaches poll, they are number 12, and that's their highest ever ranking in the NFCA coaches poll. Last played on Saturday, a 19-1 run rule rout of Delaware State. That game was off in 5 innings. It was the most runs by the Bulldogs in the game in 4 years, second largest margin of victory in school history. They have been on a tear since suffering their lone loss of the season, 1-0 to Belmont. 3 games since, they've outscored their opponents 29-4, and Sells stays alive at 1-2. Samantha Ricketts' team has been locked in, and they've got some unbelievable pitching as well. Alyssa Faircloth, the left-hander, gets the start inside the circle tonight for a Mississippi State staff that leads the nation in strikeouts. Good battle here by Sells to hang tough. Sells last season had the walk-off RBI hit by pitch when these teams met at the Snowman in Starkville, continuing to spray and foul on Johnson.
That's Johnson's rise ball. She's really working high in the zone. She's hitting right at the top of the strike zone. And that's the pitch that she's hoping she can get swing and misses on, or just miss hits and weak contact.
Sells doesn't chase and the count evens. Johnson a 2.68 ERA. Already 44 2/3 innings pitched this year. On a 2-2, and again fought off foul. You got a good look at Madeline Johnson last weekend and what really had her elevating her pitching performances, it seemed, every time she stepped in the circle.
Yeah, I mean, her off speed is just really, really good. You see it there again. If she can locate it low in the zone consistently and then go back and forth between her change and her rise ball, it's really hard to catch up to those 2 types of pitches.
Inside corner, and she rings up Sells for out number 2. A backwards game for Johnson to set down Sells as we take another look.
See that rise just in on the corner. I think Sells thinks it's a little too inside, but a really good location there for Johnson. It's hard to do anything with that pitch.
2 outs, Barbary at first. Here's the designated player, Anna Carter. Senior from Athens, Alabama. Leads the Bulldogs in walks. First year in the program after a first-team All-Missouri Valley Conference career at Southern Illinois. Volleys this foul over the screen, 1-1. Last year hit .390 for the Salukis, .385 right now for the Bulldogs. Reuniting with her high school teammate Morgan Stiles. She lines one, but it's speared by Tucker. Snow cones for sale at Mewborn. Nice glove work by Grayson Tucker. A leadoff single by Stiles, but nothing more for the Bulldogs.
A great grab there by Grayson Tucker. A hard hit, but great defense for the Yellow Jackets.
Take a look at the rest of Eileen Morales' lineup. Grayson Tucker leads the Yellow Jackets in extra base hits, hit a pair of RBIs against Mississippi State last year, followed by the veteran Addie Leshmer. Reese Hunter catches and bats cleanup, followed by Gailey Vukadinovich, Simon Medina, and Maddie Duffel, who brings in a 7-game hitting streak from the 9-hole, facing the left-hander Alyssa Faircloth. And she winds and deals and buzzes a fastball in for strike 1. Faircloth, the junior and transfer from Troy University, she is fit right in Starkville.
Yeah, 62 strikeouts. She ranks 5th nationally in strikeouts per 7 innings. She has just gone to work so far as a transfer coming in for the Bulldogs. Definitely a big get and a great arm in the circle for them.
Quickly pinned to 0-2 count on Willer. Fights that off. Willer had 7 hits, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 15 total bases. The I-75 tournament last year, a .453 average for the sophomore. It was 3rd-team All-ACC a year ago. And she slaps one into the gap in right center field. It'll get down, split the outfielders. Alyssa Willer head first into second, and she's got a leadoff double.
This pitch is high in the zone to Alyssa Willer. Faircloth catching a little bit too much of the strike zone, being so ahead of Willer, and she does a good job of keeping her hands up, stays through it. Faircloth provides a good amount of speed, so she just makes good contact and then has wheels of her own and gets to second.
Got the jersey all dirty, bottom of the first already, and it brings up Grayson Tucker. Freshman All-ACC a year ago. This is going to be a really fun battle. These Georgia Tech hitters versus the Mississippi State pitchers. Like we had noted, Mississippi State, the nation's leader in strikeouts. Georgia Tech leads the ACC in hits. They're also second in conference in average, on-base percentage, doubles, home runs, and RBI. Chasing one out of the zone, 1-1.
That's an off-speed there by Faircloth. You can see a big swing from Grayson Tucker. Love to see it. That's her bread and butter. She is a power hitter there, but that off-speed is definitely going to keep the Jackets hitters off balance tonight.
Got jam. Sends one softly out into left. Coming on, Bernardini. Has to go low to make that catch. He called off Styles, who was backpedaling from short. But he gets the job done, one away.
Yeah, those hits sometimes, just seeing eye balls, sometimes can find the grass and they're not hit well. It was a good location by Faircloth, but great catch.
Bernardini apparently had it all the way. Brings up Leshburn. Valencius doesn't offer, 1-0. And Mississippi State has given sparkling defense to their pitchers all season long. They lead the nation in fielding percentage. Only 3 total errors this season, a .992 fielding percentage, and you got a little peek of it there from the left fielder, Morgan Bernardini. So Mississippi State does an outstanding job controlling the running game. Miller at second, the 1-1 to Leshburn, high and outside.
So far, it looks like we're getting about the same type of pitches or pitches that they're throwing for strikeouts from Faircloth as we've gotten from Johnson. She's working a off speed, and she's also going up in the zone with her rise to try to get swing and misses. So pretty similar approaches from both of these pitchers. It'll just be about which offense is most disciplined at the plate.
Hitters count for Leshburn. 3 balls, 1 strike. He's off and the count's gone full. Faircloth last pitched Saturday, a win over Belmont. Only scattered 5 hits across 5 2/3. Walked 1, struck out 13. And she rings up Leshburn. Coming back from 3-2, blows her right by her for the second out.
See Faircloth just go right at Leshburn, who was behind, right, trying to not be fooled by that changeup that she saw multiple times in that at bat. And when you get off balance like that, it's hard to catch up to the firm pitches.
Senior catcher Reese Hunter starts off with strike 1. So Faircloth rung up 13 Belmont Bruins her last start, but it's still not her season high because she struck out 14 against New Mexico back on February 7th. Jerk foul past Eileen Morales, Georgia Tech's head coach, in the third base box. And Hunter behind 0-2. She's still got the reflexes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely still got it.
Cut on and missed. And after the leadoff double to Willer, Faircloth settles down. Gets a shallow pop-up and a pair of strikeouts. 2 more to the tally for Alyssa Faircloth to come away unscathed.
You see this rise ball gets Reese Hunter swinging for the last out.
First pitch temperature right around 60 degrees, overcast skies, very little wind as you take a look at Samantha Ricketts, former All-American for the Oklahoma Sooners, 12th year at Mississippi State, 7th as the head coach. And boy, she speed ran to those 200 wins, led the Bulldogs to to a 13-11 record in the SEC last year. All teams stranded a runner as that first pitch is ambushed by Rivera deep to left and out of here. Des Rivera on the first pitch she saw smokes one to left, and Mississippi State takes the 1-0 lead.
We talked about how the Mississippi State hitters don't need to see an at-bat. They typically step into the box ready. This pitch is just too much over the middle of the plate from Johnson. It is a changeup, but Rivera seems to be on time for it, had no issue with that. And the Bulldogs take the lead.
Rivera had a 2-run homer in the Bulldogs' last game versus Delaware State. That's their third of the season. And it's the Bulldogs, as has become their habit, who have struck first. There's a first pitch strike to Bernardini. Probably taken a while for Madeline Johnson to get reacquainted with what giving up an earned run feels like. That ball is stung under the glove of Tucker. A base hit for Bernardini.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test for Johnson. She did have a phenomenal weekend, but the Bulldogs offense is on fire right now, and they have, as an entire program, been doing very well at the beginning of the season. So this is a step up for her. It's going to be a test to see how she can face against an offense like this.
Brings up Abby Grace Richardson. She lays off on the first pitch. And the Bulldogs got 2 hits on 2 pitches this inning. Richardson, the senior from Brookhaven, Mississippi. She also homered her last game. Couldn't quite time the off speed, 1-1. She's second on the team in slugging percentage. 8 hits this year, but when she's put them in play, Jess, she's made them count. 7 of those 8 hits have gone for extra bases.
Yeah, there's really no letting up in this lineup. You don't get to take your foot off the gas if you're Johnson at the bottom of the lineup.
Sneaks down the bunt, but it made contact with the bat. And so Richardson is out at first. And it'll also force Bernardini back to first. Home plate umpire Craig Hyde. Very demonstrative, very authoritative in making that call as we take a look at it again. Yep.
Yeah, and
I mean, it was actually 2 nice bunts on that play, but you only can do 1.
Exactly. if you're just dropping the bat right where you make contact, it's a part of the field. But because Richardson did kind of throw that bat towards the batted ball, towards the bunted ball, that's what the call was there. And as soon as that bat makes contact, and she's out, and runner goes back to first.
1 away now for center fielder Kinley Kettle, the freshman from New Braunfels, Texas. In there for a strike, 1-1. Keller was SEC Freshman of the Week for her performance in the Snowman, was 8 of 12 with 4 doubles, 6 runs scored. And new stadium that week. So this skying behind home, Hunter sheds the mask but watches it sail into the seats. Johnson had survived the first inning, a first inning that Mississippi State has dominated. And as we told you, outscoring opponents 29-1 this year, but they're not bad either in the second inning. That ball is served into center field. Vukadinovic comes on, makes the catch.
Yeah, it seems like the first time through the lineup, these hitters really don't have any trouble getting used to a pitcher. A lot of times you see offenses needing a couple at bats to get comfortable, and that's not the case here.
Andy Schaefer batting 9. Starting at second base today for the Bulldogs. Another freshman out of Monroe, New York. Hit her first career home run in that 19-1 win over Delaware State on Saturday. Uppercuts through that offering from Johnson. Second player in Bulldog history to hail from New York State. Even though I see some blankets on laps here in Newborn Field, I can assure you This feels like the balmiest vacation for somebody from Monroe, New York, outside of Schenectady.
Yes. With the snow that they're getting up there right now, yeah, you can't compare this weather to that.
It was the last time that she saw a field that was not snow covered.
Yeah.
On February 25th. A swing and a miss to even the count. There is leadoff home run against Johnson here to start the Mississippi State second. Bernardini followed with a single. She stayed put ever since. And now the count full on Schaefer. Johnson set. And she sprays that ball four. Top of the order now for Stiles, and she'll come up with 2 on. And that'll prompt a visit from Georgia Tech's pitching coach Aaron Dixon ahead of the dangerous Morgan Stiles. 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Johnson, the reigning ACC pitcher of the week. Also was named an NFCA top performer for her 3 appearances in the I-75 tournament. Stiles with an infield single, her first encounter with Johnson. Samantha Ricketts' team has started to build some momentum, some rhythm at the plate in the second inning. What do you think this conversation is entailing inside the circle with Johnson?
Yeah, I think Coach Aaron Dixon has a great relationship with all these pitchers. He's probably just trying to get Johnson to understand you just need 1 out, right? We need to make sure we're not making mistakes over the middle of the plate, which is where that home run to Rivera came from. But don't nitpick. Go at the batter. Let your defense work behind you.
So Bernardini at second, Schaefer at first. Stiles takes down and in. Sophomore from Athens, Alabama, her first career RBI came against Georgia Tech last year. 11-3 win for the Bulldogs in Starkville in 5 innings. Looking for another one to the tally. Called strike, 1-1. Chopped to third, handled on a hop by Tucker. She takes the short route, retires Bernardini, and gets the Jackets out of the inning, but 1 run on 2 hits. And it was a blast on the first pitch of the second. Des Rivera going deep to put the Bulldogs on top, 1-0. The right thing in mind, straight to the concessions. As we welcome you back to Mewborn Field, Eileen Morales, after a decorated playing career at Georgia Tech. Hard to believe, Jess, she's already in her 9th season as head coach of her alma mater.
Yeah,
what a job she's done.
She's done a great job here. I mean, she was a great player for the Yellow Jackets, and she's done a good job of understanding what it takes.
First pitch driven deep into left center by Gailey, and that ball is gone. I think Jaden Gailey was taking notes because it's her turn for a first pitch ambush. Gets the handshake from Eileen Morales and steps on home to tie this at 1.
So similar to what we saw last inning, this pitch is just a little bit too much over the wide of the plate, and Gailey is ready for it on time, gets full extension through it, and gets on the board for the Yellow Jackets. Great hit there.
Just snuck over the wall. Gailey's 4th home run of the season. So there's Rivera in the top half, and now the designated player, Jaden Gailey, in the bottom. 1 off for the center fielder, Paige Vukadinovich. Corner's creeping in as she takes one up and outside of the zone. Vukadinovich was 2 for 2 with the double 2-run score against Mississippi State last year. 1-1 as we see how Faircloth battles back. Only the 3rd home run Alyssa Faircloth has allowed this year. Tailing Going outside, 2-1. Interesting that both starting pitchers tonight, transfers from the Sun Belt. Johnson from James Madison. Faircloth from Troy.
Both great additions to the pitching staff for both teams. You know, I've been talking about how this is a good test for Johnson in the circle against the Mississippi State offense, but same thing goes for Faircloth here against the Georgia Tech offense, because they have been hot as well at the beginning of their season.
Flips the outside corner, 3-2. Mississippi State not only leads the nation, 139 strikeouts and counting. They're 6th nationally in whiff rate. Faircloth has a pair of punch outs. It's rolled out towards second. Schaefer positioned well, 1 away. Good job by Vukadinovic to battle on 2 strikes. But a routine ground out to Schaefer, and it brings up the shortstop, Emma Simon. Sophomore batting .333, tries to get the bunt down, but comes up empty. This is Mississippi State's first regular season true road game versus an ACC opponent since 2019. It'll be an ACC country this weekend, participating in the Tiger Invitational at McWhorter Stadium in Clemson. Certainly canvassing themselves for SEC play, which is right around the corner. They open up second weekend of March against #1 Tennessee. Popped up, right center field. Keller circles around it and makes the grab, 2 away. So Faircloth rebounding from that solo home run from Gailey. Round out in the pop-up. 2 away now for Holly Medina. Medina's reached safely in 9 straight games. First year with the Yellow Jackets, battled in 2 years at Cal in her native California. 22 starts for the Bears last season. .382 from the 8-hole.
She's been a great utility player for the Jackets so far, with playing a little second base.
Ooh, that skips under the glove of Barbary, who is playing in tight, and Medina beats the wrap.
And Medina plays second base. She's been playing in the outfield. She's starting right field today. And she also does different things in the box as well. She can put her feet down and hit for power, but she can also just slap and poke a ball like that we see get past Barbary for a single.
Now, this will be very interesting because they've yet to rule whether that's a hit or an error. And like we told you, Mississippi State, Jess, leads the nation in fielding percentage. Only 3 errors all season. Brings up the top of the order in Wheeler, who doubled to right center her first time. Barbary was SEC All-Defensive a season ago. They are going to score that a hit. I think maybe with the corners drawn in.
Yeah.
Wasn't a guarantee that Barbary, as gifted a defensive third baseman as she is, could have gotten that glove down. So the inning continues for Maddie Duffel. What a job the freshman has done. Runner takes off, throw is down, skips in, and Medina beats it out. It was a little up the right field side of the bag from Rivera.
Okay, you see a great jump there by Medina. Picks a good position in her slide, kind of gets in the way almost of the ball bouncing.
So runner in scoring position now for Duffel. Topper along first, and a good job by Richardson on the tightrope to handle that and retire Duffel. But Georgia Tech levels things up. Jaden Gailey teeing off on Faircloth on the first pitch that she saw. Her 4th of the year to the opposite field. We go to the 3rd in Atlanta. Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, knotted at 1. Runs also broke the school record for doubles. And they got the solo blast from Des Rivera to start the 2nd. Nadia Barbary begins the Bulldog 3rd. Barbary 2 home runs this year, also 12 RBIs, trying to make up for that ball that rolled under her glove. It was scored a hit, though, in that bottom of the Georgia Tech second for Medina. So it keeps at least for another inning that nation's leading fielding percentage intact. Barbary grounded into a fielder's choice her first at-bat. As we told you, senior from Douglasville, Georgia, was ranked as high as the number 17 player in her class out of Chapel Hill High School. She's got her family making the short trip. I'll take a 30-minute drive to watch her game than 4.5 you normally have to get from Metro Atlanta to Starkville. But I'll tell you what, all those drives and all those miles have been worth it, because what a career Nadia Barbary has had in Starkville. She gets underneath this one and gives it a ride to left over the scoreboard for a home run.
There's another pitch by Johnson that is just a little bit too much over the wide of the plate for these hitters. Barbary is on time. It's up in the zone. She doesn't have to do too much. It already gives her the lift to the location. You see it's rising. And she knows right away with the little bat flip there. Love the style. Does it in front of the home crowd, being from Georgia. Gotta love it.
Oh, she got the standing ovation from the fam.
They are excited for her.
And so the third home run of the year for Barbary, and you see her riding the Hobby Unicorn. There is a story behind that we'll share with you in a moment as Sellers lines one foul. Sellers struck out looking her first at-bat as Mississippi State retakes the lead 2-1. Here is the Unicorn.
Yes.
And I went to journalism school for this, so we did get the details on it. A roller out to short. Simon mishandles it. And so Sellers is aboard on what should be scored in E6. But as you saw, when this became a tradition within the last couple of weeks for Mississippi State, and that, they took pains to tell us, is not a horse, even though technically it's a hobby horse, but that is the Unicorn.
Yes.
Its name is Pink Pony. This was part of a prop in Mississippi State's junior class talent show in the off-season. And now it has become tradition where if you score a run for Mississippi State, you got to hop aboard Pink Pony, ride through the dugout, get the high fives of your teammates. It is Ali Supan, we are told, who is the stable master of Pink Pony.
Yeah, you see teams nowadays gravitate towards having a mascot or a chain or a hat or something, just to kind of keep the spirit going and momentum, and it becomes kind of a motto and a theme for the season. And yeah, I haven't seen a unicorn yet, so that's unique.
Yeah.
But you can tell they love it.
I feel like we might be seeing some Pink Pony merch
Yeah.
at Newsfield before it's all said and done. A ball and 2 strikes on Anna Carter, the DP. Drops that in on the inside corner. Johnson with the strikeout.
Johnson doing a good job of coming back and getting a strikeout, hitting that inside corner with their off speed. You can see it just kind of drops into the zone, freezes Carter there.
And now here's Des Rivera. Got the scoring started with a solo home run in the second. It's back-to-back games with a home run for the senior from Chino, California. Started 52 games last year at Iowa. Swings over top of that offering from Johnson, 1-1. Need to tip our cap to Brian Ogden, Mississippi State's fine sports information director for softball, because he kind of deputized him to get the story on the Unicorn. That's now appeared inside the Mississippi State dugout.
Some great investigative journalism there.
I'm telling you what. That J school degree just continues to pay dividends. My parents are so proud. I have a feeling, though, that we'll see some of those in the stands.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if they got it from some arts and crafts store or a gas station somewhere in the greater Starkville area, but if you are somebody who is a purveyor of those around Mississippi State, you might get ready to be busy here coming up. Runner on first, 1 away, 1 ball, 1 strike on Rivera. Sails outside. I do hope they deodorize that hobby horse, though. I mean, it's a lot of duffel bags, a lot of undercarriages, buses. Rivera got to take her ride on that in the second. Nadia Barbary followed suit with the leadoff home run in the third. Rivera hitting .348. Johnson ready with the 2-2. Got that to pop foul. Last year, as we told you, Mississippi State 13-11 in the SEC. First time the Bulldogs finished with an above 500 record in the SEC since 2001. Samantha Ricketts led her team to the Lubbock Regional. Popped up to second. No problem for Duffel. 2 away.
Johnson doing a good job of coming back at Rivera and getting her out after giving up a home run in her first at bat.
Takes a cleansing breath as she gets set for Bernardini, who singled off for her first time. Yeah, first time in a quarter century. Bulldogs finished with an above 500 record in that crucible of the SEC. Ultimately bowed out to eventual Women's College World Series finalist Texas Tech. Had their most series wins since 2007. Had a couple of wins against then #1 Texas. Bernardini with that second inning single, raising her average at .324. The senior from Elkville, Illinois. Her lone home run this year was a grand slam against Memphis. Did that February 18th. Time for third on the team in multi-hit games a year ago. Off the plate, 1-2. Had a stolen base and a run scored against Georgia Tech last year, but also saw her 7-game hitting streak snap. Little flare into right field, but Vukadinovic has the beat on it. That does it for the Mississippi State third, but same song as the second. Leadoff home run, this one off the bat of the Douglasville, Georgia native Nadia Barbary. Got all of that. Mississippi State on top 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Play at Newborn Field this weekend versus Notre Dame, and they will do so with some pretty gaudy offensive numbers, Jess.
Yeah, I mean, top of the ACC in hits, and then top 3 in RBI, batting average, home runs. You know, you really, that's what you want to be taking into conference play. And this is a test right here for the Yellow Jackets tonight against the pitching staff of Mississippi State to get them ready. It's a great game to have going into conference play.
Miller got the best of Faircloth in their first encounter, an opposite field double. It came on 2 strikes as the count evens at 1. Well, the sophomore Alyssa Willer is 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. In their most recent game Sunday versus Purdue, Yellow Jackets have won their last 3 all in run rule fashion. Miller had 2 home runs against Yale on Saturday. Checked her swing, took downstairs, 2-1. Wheeler hit .340 as a freshman last year. So she set a high bar for herself, Jess, but she has already raised it as a sophomore.
Yeah, Wheeler, as a hitter, is just so impressive to be an underclassman. I mean, she did get a full season of starts last year, so she has a full year of experience, but I mean, she looks like a senior. She looks like someone who's been doing this for as long as these seniors out here have.
And she goes down on strikes, though. Good pitch placement by Faircloth, her 3rd strikeout of the day as we take another look. Boy, kept that on a low plane the moment it left her hand.
Oh, yeah, definitely fools Wheeler there with her off speed. 2 strikes, you can't take anything that might be close, and then the great drop off from Faircloth. Her off speed is dirty.
Faircloth's 3rd strikeout. All strikeouts feel good, but not all strikeouts are built equal. When you can retire somebody as potent a hitter as Wheeler to begin an inning with a strikeout, gives you a lot of confidence. Here's the count even at 1 on Tucker.
Yeah, and the lineup doesn't let up. Tucker has a big bat, and she's been a force in the lineup for the Yellow Jackets as well.
Cut on and missed 1 and 2. Tucker had a pair of RBIs against Mississippi State last year. Part of a freshman All-ACC season. Native of Marietta, Georgia. Brief stoppage here. There was an errant ball from the Georgia Tech bullpen down the third base line. 2-1 Mississippi State, and the 1-2 is popped up, fading down the right field line. Sells giving chase into foul ground. 2 away.
A long way to run there for Sells. Has good understanding of where she is and awareness of the field, knowing that she's coming up on the fence quickly, but that ball stayed up in the air for a long time. That's a routine catch for an outfielder like Sells.
An angle nonetheless, swing and a miss to start off Addie Leshper, who struck out her first time. Leshper batting .256, still trying to raise that average, batting third.
Yeah, Leshper came in as a transfer last year, had an immediate impact for the Jackets, really did well in the offense and found herself getting all ACC accolades at the end of the season. And we talked to her preseason, and she was somebody who was looking to do just as good, if not better, for herself this year in her senior year.
Eileen Morales still trusts her in the middle of the order, still trying to figure some things out. Good eye there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leshper, the transfer from Minnesota, native of Thrall, Texas. Grew up on a cattle ranch. As Faircloth deals. Cut on and missed, blew it right by her. Strikeouts bookending the Georgia Tech third, 3 up, 3 down. As Faircloth settles in nicely, gets the shutdown inning as we head to the 4th. Bulldogs still up 2-1. Bear, like usual, Jess Sinclair, Mississippi State. What does it tell you about this league where right now the Bulldogs are ranked anywhere from 12th to 19th in the country, and they were picked preseason 11th in the SEC?
Yeah, the SEC for softball is just, it's a tremendous conference. It's going to be tough for Mississippi State once they hit conference play to keep going the way they're going, but they've had a phenomenal start so far.
Trying to build upon that 13-11 league mark a season ago. Abby Grace Richardson starts off with strike 1. And the Bulldogs begin conference play, hosting number 1 Tennessee. Paints the outside corner, 0-2. Richardson only 6 at-bats last year. Using some pinch hit, pinch run rolls. Skies this into center. Vukadinovic underneath it, 1 away. Of course, Georgia Tech, they have also been battle-tested against the SEC. It's very much in line with Eileen Morales' scheduling philosophy. Come ACC play, which kicks off this weekend, her team, they'll have some battle scars on them. Played Alabama already, played Florida. They're not ducking any smoke in non-conference play, and they know it'll make them better once the ACC rolls around.
Yeah, that's really what preseason's about, is about going out there and playing good competition, figuring out how you stack up and what you can do better to make sure that you are prepared by the time conference comes.
Keller a fly out to center for first at-bat. Mississippi State had led off each of the last 2 innings with solo home runs, so had to feel good for Johnson to induce a fly out from Richardson. Johnson has 2 strikeouts, gets a very awkward swing from Keller, 2-2. 15 scoreless innings last weekend for the sophomore Madeline Johnson, en route to earning ACC Pitcher of the Week honors. 15 strikeouts across those 15 innings, and she rings up Keller right on cue.
I think the biggest change right now for Johnson is she's getting the hitters to swing at her pitches. She is not leaving it over the white. She's doing a much better job of finding the corners, using her changeup there to drop out of the strike zone, and she's really changing the dynamic, and the hitters are having to swing at her pitches instead of the mistakes.
Abby Schaefer tries to lay a bunt down, bounces it off the plate. Schaefer drew the lone walk so far against Johnson. Fine start to her freshman season at .375. Part of a Mississippi State team that's averaging .366. Wicked off speed, in for a strike. We've talked so much about the fielding and the pitching of Mississippi State. They're also 17th in the nation in doubles. And the 0-2 is pulled foul.
Sometimes that's all you can do with an off speed. When you're 0-2, you might be way out ahead of it. You just want to grab a piece of it.
Doesn't matter if that ball takes a sharp left turn as long as you make contact and live to see another day.
Exactly.
Johnson trying to work her first 1-2-3 inning, and she does. High hard one there to Fan Schaefer and turn it a 1-2-3. It was punctuated by a pair of strikeouts from Madeline Johnson as we take another look.
You see this rise ball from Johnson up and out of the zone. She had Schaefer 0-2. Great pitch location to get the second strikeout of the inning for Johnson.
On Atlanta night on ACC Network, Andy Demetrip, Jess Sinclair, Mississippi State, the 2-1 lead. Yellow Jackets hunting for their first ranked win of the season. They will have no shortage of opportunities for that, Jess Sinclair. It's going to be a rough ride in the ACC as well. Virginia, Duke, Virginia Tech, Florida State. Hard to believe Clemson dropped out of the rankings most recently. They had been a mainstay there for the last several seasons. Georgia Tech certainly looking to mix it up as well. Why not start right now? Hunter leads off the fourth. Strikeout victim her first time. Grounds one foul to make it 1-1. But you know, it's also been fun to see the resurgence, I guess would be the best word, of the ACC over the last several years. And with Eileen Morales taking her Georgia Tech team to the regionals last year, they're right in that conversation as well.
Yeah, that is definitely the goal of the Yellow Jackets, was to reach a regional. They've done it 2 years in a row now, and they're trying to take that step up. The goal for this program this year is to go to a super regional, to continue to move forward and find progress.
Here's the 1-2, waved down and missed. Awkward swing by Hunter. And Faircloth had her fooled. Third strikeout, and the last four batters that Alyssa Faircloth has faced. But now she will have to get her rematch with Jaden Gailey. And the first pitch Jaden Gailey saw from Faircloth to begin the second inning was an opposite field home run. Made sure that wasn't too good, but it still striped the black. Strike one.
Yeah, you can see Faircloth has made the adjustments, is hitting the corners more regularly now. And, you know, those mistakes happen, and it was a good job by Gailey to be ready for the mistake, because you don't see many from a pitcher like Faircloth.
And when you do, you have to pounce on him.
Exactly.
The senior Jaden Gailey certainly did that. The fourth home run of the season, RBI number 11. Got on and missed. Two runs on 4 hits, no errors for MSU. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for Georgia Tech, and ring up another one for Faircloth.
I think it's safe to say Faircloth has found her rhythm here. This is her rise ball up and out of the zone. Gailey's known for liking the pitches up higher in the zone, which rise balls can be pitches that are easy to hit home runs on, but there's a fine line between a pitch that's out of the zone completely and one that you can take over the wall. So great location there by Faircloth.
Snaps off strike one to Vukadinovic. Vukadinovic grounded out to second in her first at-bat. Corners were crashing, 1-1. Faircloth, as we had noted, 5th nationally in strikeouts per 7 innings. And strikeout was her 6th. Lashed foul by Vukadinovic, 1-2. What's interesting is that all of her strikeouts have been swinging. Mississippi State as a staff, 2nd nationally in strikeouts looking. See what she dials up on 1-2. Half swing from Vukadinovic, but fouls it back. Vukadinovic from Munster, Indiana, about 70 miles from South Bend. Georgia Tech doesn't go to Notre Dame this year. They welcome in the Irish on Friday for the first of 3. Also, Mississippi State is a staff. You know, they got the home run from Gailey, and that's nice, but usually that's about all you're going to get because Mississippi State, one of 6 teams nationally right now, Jess, averaging less than 1.5 runs allowed per game. Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Alyssa Faircloth strikes out the side. First Hunter, then Gailey. She tops it off with Vukadinovic.
A perfect inning for Faircloth. You see her using her off speed there. She has found her rhythm here tonight.
Well, Sunbelt transfers shining inside the circle tonight. Faircloth and Johnson.
Yeah, these pitchers have really been able to keep the ball away from most barrels. We have 3 home runs on the night, but only 3 runs so far. So outside of those home runs, people aren't catching, or batters are not catching a barrel. They're not having great contact.
Morgan Stiles reached on an infield single of her first at-bat, grounded to third in the second. Has reached safely in all but 1 game this year. Grounded sharply, redirects off the glove of Lesper. Can Duffel get there? She shovels and gets Stiles. Three to 4-3. You don't input that in your scorecard very often, but that's the fate of Stiles for the first out.
Good job of the Yellow Jacket defense sticking with it.
And Duffel had to unload quickly, knowing Stiles' speed. Here's Barbary. Broke that tie with the solo home run to lead off the third. Barbary's second-team All-SEC last season. Finished second on the Bulldogs in average, hits, runs, total bases, RBIs. She and Eileen Morales have a connection because both of Nadia Barbary's parents served in the Air Force. Eileen Morales also comes from a military family. She, like Nadia Barbary, moved all around growing up. Eileen's dad was in the Army. We're very proud to have veteran parents. Barbary brought her family to their feet. That solo homer over the scoreboard to start the third.
Really comfortable hitting in front of the home crowd. The whole fam's here. You got to show off a little bit.
You got to. You know they're ready to jump out of their seats. 3-1. Low and inside. Barbary will take the free base instead. Just the second walk issued by Johnson. Johnson retired the side in order in the fourth with 2 strikeouts. Now facing Sells, a strikeout and reached on an air. Low and inside. Oh, watch out, they caught Barbary off of first, but the throw from Hunter is offline. It looked like they caught Barbary in no man's land, and she beats the rap.
I think Barbary read the off-speed pitch in the dirt, thought it might bounce away from Reese Hunter a little bit more than it did. Lucky to be able to get back there on an errant throw.
Nice shape to that next offering from Johnson. But if the throw were more online from Hunter, Jess, I thought there was a chance they could have caught Barbary stealing.
Yeah, it's a difficult play by Hunter to block up a ball and then go make a throw. I don't think she thought Barbary was going to take off.
Got out and missed 1 and 2. Hunter has really guarded the plate well. 5th in the nation right now. She has already cut down 6 base runners.
Yeah, Coach Morales says she's a little unorthodox behind the plate.
Well, that ball is stroked into left field. Wheeler on her horse, over her glove and off the wall. Barbary gets the call for home, and the relay is late. RBI double by Barbary. It skips away from Hunter, and that allows Sells to coast into third. Mississippi State extends the lead to 3-1. Good hitting, good base running. And Sells now pushes the Bulldogs' lead to 2.
We talked about Sells to open the game. She does have big pop potential. Just out of the reach of Wheeler there. A good bounce off the wall. And then I don't know if this throw needs to be made home, because I think the run scored prior to that ball even being able to be played. With the tough bounce, we see that bounce away from Hunter, and now you have a runner instead of at second, at third.
We'll see if they scored a double and an error as Carter tops that foul. Mississippi State, as we had noted, 17th in the nation in doubles. That's their first of the night, their 31st of the season. Trying to tack on some more here with 1 down in the 5th. Carter a line out and a strikeout. And they do score that in E6. A second error charge to Georgia Tech defensively tonight. Carter, the senior from Athens, Alabama, began her career at Southern Illinois. And she swings away. A deep drive to center. Vukadinovic has it measured, pulls it in at the track, but plenty deep to tag up Sells. And make it now 4-1 Bulldogs.
And this is why that communication on the relay coming in from Simon is so important. That throw did not need to be made home. If it wasn't made home, we'd still see Sells at second for that hit, and she might only have been able to tag up the third instead of score a run.
2 outs for Rivera. A roller toward Duffel. Up quickly, and the sign retired. But Mississippi State takes advantage with 2 runs. Just 1 hit, 1 error, none left. 4-1 through 4.5. Alyssa Faircloth came in dealing strikeouts, and that's what she's continued to do here in Atlanta, Jess.
Yeah, these strikeouts have just been pretty dominant against the Yellow Jacket offense. You can see she isn't really throwing close to the zone on a couple of those pitches. She's just fooling the offense for the Yellow Jackets so much that they're able to bite at her pitches and not make contact. She's been on fire tonight so far.
Struck out 5 of her last 6. She'll face 7, 8, 9 in the Georgia Tech order with Mississippi State. Thanks to 2 runs in the top half, extending their lead to 5-1, or 4-1 rather. Simon to lead things off, followed by Medina and Duffel. And that's been the key right there, the first pitch strike.
Yeah, she's definitely has settled in after giving up that home run to Jaden Gailey. She's settled in. She's going right after these hitters.
Drops that in, pulled the string, strike 2. Simon flew out her first at bat. Faircloth was second team all Sun Belt at Troy a season ago. Checks the wristband and now fires. Well, she made that look easy. That's 5 straight strikeouts for number 4.
And that off speed is just giving the Yellow Jackets a lot of trouble so far. You can see it just drops in the zone. Got tremendous speed, but Yellow Jackets can't catch a piece of it. Great spin and great location.
Brings up Holly Medina. Trying to tap a bunt down, but it rolls foul. Medina singled and stole a base their first at bat.
I like the call to try to lay down a bunt. You want to change the momentum somehow, right? You gotta stop the flow of strikeouts if you're the Yellow Jackets right now.
And also, if you're a hitter, just have that feeling of making contact again. Because Faircloth is missing barrels left and right. Actually was born in Georgia, in Americus. It's low, 1-1. And a man who played softball not far from Atlanta, Georgia Gwinnett College. Coming off a 13 strikeout performance on Saturday versus Belmont. And a 1-1 right down the middle. That single Medina has raised her average to an even 400. Behind the ball and 2 strikes and goes down on strikes again. That off speed has been given Tech fits.
You see it just drops out of the strike zone, but really what sets it up is the pitch prior to this is a velocity pitch. It's higher in the 60s and just comes right at the hitter. And then the change in speed drop off about 10 miles per hour. Makes it really difficult for the Yellow Jackets to find their footing here.
It's a strike on Maddie Doppel, who's looking to extend a 7-game hitting streak. Rounded out to first in her lone at bat. Nothing in 2. 4-5-0 for the Bulldogs. 1-3-2 for Georgia Tech. Their bats have been silenced. Faircloth to strike out the side. Doesn't get a chase. That is 6 straight strikeouts twirled by the sophomore Alyssa Faircloth. Ready with a 1-2. Swing and a miss. I know she hasn't scored a run, but I think Alyssa Faircloth deserves a ride on that hobby horse inside the MSU dugout. She has been dealing it. 2 straight innings, striking out the side. We go to the 6th, 4-1 Bulldogs. State 4-1. Got a pair of runs with an RBI double from Kira Sells in that 5th inning, but right now the story has been Alyssa Faircloth. She gave up that solo home run to Jaden Gailey to begin the 2nd inning, and then stranded Medina at 2nd later in that frame. Ever since, the Jackets have been held in check. And a new pitcher inside the Georgia Tech circle. Sydney Watts will take over for Johnson. And she stands in against Morgan Bernardini and dials up strike 1.
Yeah, Watts has a little bit more velocity than Johnson. She also uses a rise ball, so she'll go up in the zone, but she does have a little bit firmer of pitches.
Pops out of Hunter's glove, but nothing in 2. Watts last appeared 6 days ago. Through 4 innings against Georgia State. Scattered 6 hits, 2 runs. 4.1 ERA across her 22 innings of work. Delivers the 0-2, wrapped foul. Bernardini is 1 for 2, the senior from Elkville, Illinois. And I know, Jess, a lot of folks like to say, oh, I'm from small town USA, yada, yada, yada. They have nothing on Morgan Bernardini, because she had a graduating high school class of 21 people.
Wow.
Alvarado High School, Elkville, Illinois. Able to stay alive there. Her entire high school had 120 students.
Yeah, that's small.
You have some classes, like class rooms that are 120 students, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, and I have a class of 34.
Oh, my gosh.
One class, my 3rd period class is 34 students.
Unbelievable. Checked her swing. Peeled down to first, did not go, said first base umpire Donald Maddox. You can come from a really small town, but if you can swing the stick like Bernardini does, a lot of high major programs will find you. And certainly Samantha Ricketts did at Mississippi State. Is it worth the count even to lead off the Mississippi State 6th? And the pitch from Watts is blown. Right center field, hit well. Vukadinovic on the run, pulls it in. And long stride of Paige Vukadinovic, able to take away a potential extra base hit from Bernardini.
Yeah, Coach Megan Hill has worked really hard with the outfielders going right after balls. Paige Vukadinovic takes a phenomenal angle on this. This is a ball that's hit to the deepest part of the field out here, and Vukadinovic does a good job of running it down.
Up high to Richardson, who's 0 for 2. 7 through 9 in the Mississippi State order. Looking to make a little more noise. A combined 0 for 5 with a walk. Richardson 0 for 2. Also flew out to Vukadinovic her last time. As we said, only 6 at-bats last year. Really coming on now in her second year in the Bulldogs program, but she had some big walk-off runs scored, including both of their wins over #1 Texas. Came from a JUCO national championship winning program, Copiah Lincoln Community College in Mississippi, where she was 2-time JUCO All-American. And a homer for Coach Ricketts in her last game versus Delaware State. Watch ready, and the 1-2. Hooks off foul.
You see Watts just continuing to go with her rise ball. That's why we're seeing a lot of the pop-ups here. That is Watts' bread and butter, the strikeout pitch. She's trying to get these pitchers or these hitters to swing at. It's going to be up and out of the zone.
Checked her swing. Did she go? No. Watts struck out. His total was in her last outing across those 4 innings against Georgia State. Struck out 3, which did tie a season high. Down low and the count's gone full. She did appear in relief for 2/3 of an inning against Mississippi State last year. An 11-3 Bulldogs win in Starkville. Rears back into 3-2 is just high. And it was a tempting pitch, but a better take by Richardson, and she's aboard with 1 out.
Yeah, and the best plan against a good rise ball is just not to swing. Because it's not supposed to be a strike. It is a ball that is supposed to tail up out of the zone.
Samantha Ricketts paying a visit to home plate umpire Craig Hyde. And we'll have a pinch hitter now for Keller. It'll be Paige Ernstess, a sophomore, hitting 172. In for a strike. Ernstess takes over for Keller in the 8-hole. Bulldogs plated 2 in the 5th. You run against Reese Hunter at your own risk, Jessica. She's 5th in the nation in runners caught stealing.
Yeah, Coach Morales says she's a little unorthodox behind the plate, the way she receives and the way she plays catcher, but Coach Morales said they want their players to be athletes. They're not going to be cookie cutter catchers. They're not going to be cookie cutter any position player on this field. They just want them to be as athletic as possible. And Reese Hunter really epitomizes that. She is a phenomenal outfield or athlete behind the plate.
Back as a starter. High and tight, 2-2. Richardson is 2 for 2 in stolen bases this year. And if something is beat into the ground, Georgia Tech has been outstanding in turning 2. They lead the ACC in double plays. Break even to Ernstess, down low. Georgia Tech 4-13 all-time versus MSU. Their last win in this series came in 2022. Team teams exchanged solo home runs in the second inning. Barbari's solo homer to lead off the third so far stands as the game winner. This lower third of the Bulldogs' order is making Watts work for it.
Yeah, 7th pitch of this at bat right here. And, you know, that's saying something because this is the first time they're seeing Watts. So they're also letting their dugout see almost every pitch Watts has to throw at him.
She got jammed. Ernstis to shortstop. Simon pulls it in, 2 away. Yeah, you raise such a good point because sometimes your job in that lower third of the order is to work deep counts and allow the top of the order to see pitches and pick up tendencies and tells in the pitcher. And so, you know, maybe it comes at the cost of a little bit of aggression, but you know that it'll pay dividends for you. And if you can work your way into a walk, then, you know, you get the job done as well.
Yeah, especially when you have a new pitcher in the circle like we saw with Watts starting. This is her first inning in for the Jackets. So the more pitches you can see, especially at the bottom of the lineup for the top of the lineup, the better you're setting up your teammates.
Another pinch hitter, the freshman Taylor Troutman, stands in from the left side and looks at strike 1. Redshirt freshman from Henderson, Kentucky. Got eaten up there, 0-2. Troutman has started 7 games this year, a designated player. Suffered a torn ACL in fall ball last year and redshirted. He's very highly touted coming out of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Ground ball to second, eaten up by Duffel. Over to Lesper, and the side retired. So Watts works around the 1-out walk, holds the Bulldogs scoreless. Georgia Tech bats need to get to work. Down 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Mississippi State on top of Georgia Tech. The left-hander Alyssa Faircloth has retired 10 straight, the last 7 by strikeout. You know that has to make any pitching coach happy, Jess, but when your pitching coach was one of the all-time greats in Oklahoma City and Taryn Mowat McKinney, especially so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hope for a better pitching coach than Taryn Mowat McKinney. I remember growing up and watching her pitch in the College World Series. She was just dominant and really...
Oh, solid contact by Willer into the gap. It's up at the wall, and it is gone. So Willer finally breaks the strikeout streak of Faircloth, and it's a solo home run to make it 4-2.
Willer decides to jump on the high velocity pitch from Faircloth and avoid that off-speed pitch that's been getting the Yellow Jackets all night. You can see she's ready and on time for that pitch. I think she knows right off the bat, just hopes it has enough height, but a great swing there for Alyssa Willer.
Yeah, Alyssa Willer probably heard us talking too much about the pitching and said, I'm going to interrupt you right there.
Let's change that narrative a little bit.
So now 4-2, bottom of the 6th, brings up Grayson Tucker, who's 0 for 2. Has not been a strikeout victim yet from Faircloth, a pair of flyouts. That's got to imbue a little belief into that Georgia Tech dugout because, boy, they just been baffled by Faircloth. Like we said, entered this inning having struck out 7 in a row. 2-hit day for Willer. Down the middle, 2-1.
Willer she can serve as a catalyst for the Yellow Jackets a lot. She has been that player that's been able to kind of be the spark plug and get the offense going. But it's gonna take Tucker, it's gonna take Lesper really following behind her here and breaking out of the day they're having at the plate against Faircloth.
2-2, poked into right center. That sinks for a base hit. Good piece of 2-strike hitting by Tucker, her first hit of the night. And that brings up the game-tying run to the plate in the Georgia Tech 6th. Now there's ever a time for Addie Leshber to potentially bust out, it would be right here. Tucker will come out for a pinch runner. Leshber has struck out twice today. That'll be Abby McInnes, the freshman from Buford, Georgia. Takes over at first base for Tucker. Wheeler's 6th home run of the season, by the way, leads Georgia Tech. Leshber 4 home runs herself, trying to lift that .250 average. Runner takes off, a double clutch by Rivera, and the throw is late. Now McInnes did not waste time, and she's off in scoring position. Georgia Tech's 2nd successful stolen base tonight against Rivera.
Even with the double clutch, a pretty good throw and phenomenal quick tag there. McInnes does beat it in, but that is as close as you can get with the double clutch that Rivera had given.
Part of what attracted Mississippi State to Rivera in the transfer portal out of Iowa. She really controlled the running game, was 18th nationally in runners caught stealing, 15 for the Hawkeyes. Another 0-2 count here against Leshber. The pitch from Fairclough, out of side. Mississippi State's lone loss of the season, February 20th versus Belmont. They had outscored opponents 29-4. Leshber eaten up, swing and a miss. And down on strikes for out number 1. That makes 11 strikeouts for Fairclough, her 3rd double-digit strikeout game of the season. And now pitching coach Taryn Moat McKinney will convene the infield. And Taryn Moat McKinney holds that Women's College World Series record for strikeouts and wins, was the most outstanding player with the Wildcats. And Fairclough going to be responsible for the runner at second. A stat line for the left-hander, 11 strikeouts over 5 1/3. Only runs she allowed were solo home runs to Gailey in the 2nd. And then to begin this 6th inning to Wheeler. You know, you think that you can chase her out of the game, you can exhale, but now when you got Peja Gould coming on, the senior from Stockton, California. Back-to-back Southern Conference Pitcher of the Year at Chattanooga before landing in Starkville. And look at that ERA, Jess Sinclair.
Yeah, Gould is going to be just as tough, if not tougher, than Fairclough for the remainder of the Yellow Jacket hitters here. There's a reason why this staff is leading in strikeouts.
She has held opponents right now to an .097 average. Basin Hunter, who's 0 for 2 with the pair of strikeouts. Clips the outside corner, 0-1. Hunter still represents the game-tying run, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a .396 average for the catcher. Over the top of that offering. Sometimes you wonder about how those numbers may scale up from pitchers coming from so-called mid-major conferences, but I think Fairclough and Gould have shown that they had high major arms if they weren't necessarily performing in high major conferences. That pitch, though, gets away from Gould. It allows McInnes to get up a base. She's at 3rd now. One ball, 2 strikes. Chopped to 3rd, handled by Barber. He looks back, McInnes, she races for home. Here comes the throw, the tag, got her. Trying to make it a 1-run game, but Richardson snapped that off. And it's a double play to end the Georgia Tech 6th. Lee Morales may ask for a review. And so we'll get a second look at it. Call on the field from home plate umpire Craig Hyde was that McInnes was out at home. We'll see if this remains a 4-2 game.
Those are really close in timing. It looks like with this angle, it looks like the tag does get on McInnes before her fingers are able to hit the plate. I think with it being later in the game, it's a decision Coach Morales is making just as a hopeful.
Yeah.
There's something that she wasn't able to see that could give the Yellow Jackets back the opportunity to
and you don't want to bypass an opportunity to bring that deficit within 1 run. She's having a conversation with McInnes. And again, it was a bouncing ball that hugged the third base line. Barbary, no problem gloving it. Sort of cast a glance toward McInnes, held her close. You know, even though you still had 1 out in the inning, that would have been 2. You had Gailey in the on-deck circle. It was an aggressive call by McInnes, whether from Eileen Morales or she took matters into her own hands to break for home. And yeah, I think that tag was laid pretty clearly on the forearm of McInnes before her left hand touched home plate. So this should be upheld, although we only offer opinions, not verdicts.
This is kind of par for the course with the Yellow Jackets this year so far. There have been a lot of aggressive plays base running wise. They've really pushed the envelope with base running, and especially going home. Coach Morales has had a lot of opportunities to send runners, and a lot of it's worked out for the Yellow Jackets. This doesn't look like it will work out. We will see what the call is. But when you have 11 strikeouts on the day, you know, you're trying to produce runs whatever it takes.
Sometimes have to force the issue. And the call is confirmed. So a double play, 5-3-2. Rivera the tag on McInnes to get Mississippi State out of the inning and hold the Yellow Jackets to just the winner home run, 4-2 Mississippi State as we move to the 7th. Get the inning-ending double play turned in by Mississippi State. It all started with this throw from Nadia Barbary, who was named Softball America Defender of the Week on Tuesday. Actually split those honors with her teammate Morgan Stiles, and then a nice tag by Rivera off the peg from Richardson. We totally understand the decision to send McInnes home. It's late. You're trying to force the issue here, get back in this game, but you do so against a Mississippi State team, Jess, that is #1 in the nation in fielding percentage. And in a high-leverage situation, that nation's leading fielding percentage comes through again.
Yeah, I think if you're earlier in the game, you might not take that chance. You might leave it in the hands of the batters. But when you're coming down to your last couple outs, you want to make sure that you have the opportunity. You see Stiles fly out to right there for the first out of the inning. But you want to make sure that you are trying to produce with every ball that goes in play, because there aren't a lot of balls that are going in play right now.
And look, you have a lot of trust in your freshman McInnes' speed. If she's able to wriggle her body around the tag, all of a sudden it's a 1-run game, and you have 2 solo homers tonight. Now you're 1 swing away. Here is Barbary. First pitch swinging, and elevates that into foul territory. This was Barbary back in the 3rd inning. Game was tied at 1. Launching one, 2 left on the first pitch. And Mississippi State has not relinquished the lead since. And a walk and a run scored in the 5th on top of that putout. That ball bounces off the plate. 0-2. It's quite a homecoming for Barbary, the native of Douglasville, Georgia. Family in attendance, as you would fully expect. Had a couple of clutch hits in an extra inning win over Wichita State earlier this year. A game-tying RBI that sent the game to extras, and then matched a 3-run homer against the Shockers in the 8th. Oh, and those camera phones are cued. Keep it rolling. Still 1-2.
Gotta have all the footage.
I tell you what, something might be getting posted to Facebook very shortly. That camera roll is getting crowded for the senior. Watts ready, and another 1-2 on the way. Bounce foul. Georgia Tech, as we look ahead to the bottom of the 7th, will have 5, 6, and 7 due up. Scheduled to be Gailey, who hit the home run in the 2nd inning, Vukadinovich, and Simon. Watts twirled a scoreless 6th, worked around a 1-out walk. Sails that pitch. Mississippi State trying to extend its best start to a season in 12 years. 14-1 coming in as the count's gone full to Barbary.
If you're Watts, missing that high and out of the zone, obviously you don't want pitches to get away from your catcher, but not a bad spot to miss when you have a swing like Barbary in the box.
Deep in that right-handed batter's box. Grounds one sharply right to short. Simon unloads one away. Make it 2 away. Nicely done to Barbary. Watts wasn't given in on 3-2 and earns the second out of the Bulldogs' 7th. We spotlighted Kira Sells in the open. An RBI double her last at-bat. Although, Samantha Ricketts. A brief check. And it will indeed be Sells. Cut on and missed, 0-1. Sells also a cool story, the senior from Jasper, Texas. She plays with hearing aids. Very similar to a former Georgia Tech player a few years back in pitcher Chandler Dennis, who played with cochlear implants. She competed while managing severe progressive hearing losses. That ball is blasted. Forget about it. Kiera Sells with a big insurance run. Home run number 3 of the night for Mississippi State, and it's 5-2.
This pitch is up in the zone at the top of the strike zone for Sells. She is on time, ready for it. I think she knows right off the bat that she got all of that. It hits up in the trees, a tremendous home run, like you said, an insurance run at the top of the 7th for the Bulldogs.
So the lead is up to 3 now. Comes with 2 outs. Tatum Silva comes up empty on a bunt, taken over for Carter in the DP spot. Mississippi State last year broke a school record for home runs, setting a blistering pace early this 2026 season. Solo home runs from Rivera, Barbary, and now Sells. Silva Jr., corners creeping in. 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1. Vera on deck as Watts looks to shake off the Sells home run. Routed sharply. Tucker was playing in, and it skips under her glove. The inning continues on the Silva single. Hit number 7 of the night for Mississippi State. Pitching coach Aaron Dixon will come out ahead of Rivera. I don't spy any activity in that Georgia Tech bullpen, so this will be Watts' to work out of.
Okay, you have 2 outs here. Right, runner not in scoring position. Right, you just want to rely on your defense. Continue to work the corners. Don't get lazy and throw a ball over the middle of the plate. We know with 3 out of the 7 hits tonight being home runs, you don't want to get too comfortable, but allow your defense to work, get out of this, and see what your offense can do in response.
Has been the most economical inning in 2/3 so far for Watts in relief of Johnson. The final line for Madeline Johnson, the reigning ACC pitcher of the week. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 were earned, a pair of walks, 4 strikeouts. Rivera's solo home run got the Mississippi State scoring started in the second. She knocks one into left. Third hit of the inning. And now at first and second. Looks like a pinch runner coming in for Rivera. I thought that was number 5, Allie Supan, the equine manager of the hobby unicorn. Yeah. We showed you, and you probably have seen several other times throughout tonight's broadcast. Bernardini climbs in. Senior 1 for 3. Fly ball, center field, driven. Vukadinovich, out of room, out of here. 3-run homer by Bernardini, and she's just busted it wide open.
Yeah, we see a great swing here by Bernardini. On time, again up in the zone, but not high enough to get out of the bat path. When you miss a rise ball location, it leaves these pitches just high and easy to take deep and far into the sky, and really adding some insurance here. The Bulldogs are at the top of the 7th.
Now 8-2, 4-run score with 2 outs. Here's Abby Grace Richardson. Richardson still searching for her first hit, 0 for 2 with a walk. It's 4-2 going into this 7th inning. Bang bang play at the plate, denied Georgia Tech a potential 3rd run and a potential 1-run margin. But the home run by Sells, followed by the 3-run blast to dead center by Bernardini. Strike call. And this is actually going to be Richardson. Our monitor says Kalani Sells. Clearly not the case. Fights that off. Mississippi State will stay overnight in Atlanta and pack up the bus, head to Clemson. Playing the Tiger Invitational at McWhorter Stadium. They open with the Wofford Terriers on Friday. Georgia Tech back at home on Friday to begin ACC play versus Notre Dame. After they played some really spotless softball last weekend, going 6-0. Bats were ringing, pitchers were dealing. Turned down and tagged, but foul. This lands in the Georgia Tech bullpen. Mississippi State started to pour it on here late. 2 runs in the 5th, 4 in the 7th. I feel like there needs to be a slightly more creative name than Pink Pony that the players have chosen.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best names
it's
are the
it's a
most
good
obvious.
song. I get it. Oh, I feel like that screenshot's coming to the no context softball X account near you. Smoked at third. Nice backhand by Tucker. Now Grayson Tucker showing off her cannon there at third base to retire the side, but not before 4 runs come across. A pair of homers for Mississippi State. 8-2. Come off home runs. It began in the 2nd inning. A leadoff homer by Rivera. That was matched by a Jaden Gailey solo home run in the bottom of the 2nd. 1 inning later, it was Nadia Barbary. And this blast, a solo shot by Alyssa Wheeler, cut the margin to 4-2. But then the bats were ringing in the Bulldogs 7th. A home run by Kira Semmels, followed a few minutes later by a Morgan Bernardini. 3-run homer, disappearing into the Atlanta night. And Mississippi State 3 outs away from an impressive road win over Georgia Tech. We knew these teams had home run potential. They have shown that, but score getting lopsided in favor of the Bulldogs. Peja Gould came on and induced a double play to end the 6th. They'll face 5, 6, and 7 for Georgia Tech. Jaden Gailey will lead off. Her other at bat was a strikeout swinging.
You're not going to win a game with a one swing here if you're Jaden Gailey. You've got to play 7th inning softball. You need to extend the inning. All right, whatever it takes to get on, to make sure that you're just passing the bat back to the next person up. All right, there are 6 runs that need to be scored in order to extend the game and 7 to win it. So you need to make sure that when you're stepping in the box, that's the mindset you have. You're not trying to be a hero right off the bat here.
Won't come easy against Gould, but Georgia Tech now, it's a long enough runway in the season where I think it's pretty entrenched that Georgia Tech has a lot of power in those bats. Came in hitting .365. In through the back door, strike 1.
And I'm not saying home runs are not good here.
Nope.
It's that you don't want to step into the box swinging for home runs, right? You want to step in the box swinging for good contact.
That is outside ball 4. That was a wicked pitch by Gould. Couldn't spot that on the outside corner. And a leadoff walk for Gailey. Doesn't matter how many runs you're leading by in the late innings, a head coach will always get a knot in her stomach when she sees her pitcher issue a leadoff walk.
Yeah, you never want to start with that, especially if you have this lead and this momentum. You really just want your pitcher to come out if you're the Bulldogs right now and just go right at them. Challenge the hitters. Make them earn it here. You've got wiggle room.
Pinch runner is Julia Morrissey. True freshman from Marietta, Georgia, takes over for Gailey. Brings up Vukadinovic, who's over 2. Been busy out in center field tonight. Going outside from Gould. I know SEC play is still a couple of weeks away for Mississippi State and the rest of the league, but between Gould and Faircloth, Leila Amon, also a sub-1 ERA. It'll be really fun to see how they will measure themselves against SEC caliber hitting. Not to say that Georgia Tech doesn't present its share of minefields 1 through 9, but yeah, I think that has a lot of Mississippi State fans excited. Maybe a lot of opposing SEC fans a little nervous when they have to face this stable of arms.
And they'll get tested right away, right off the bat with Tennessee opening in conference in Starkville.
Good eye by Vukadinovic. Zone jumping around a bit on Gould as the count's even. Georgia Tech will enter ACC play, leading the conference in hits. They're second in the league in on-base percentage and average. Stroked into right, a base hit by Vukadinovic. Got down low on that offering. That was down and in from Gould. Still able to golf that to right.
Yeah, that's a great swing by Vukadinovic. That is the idea of doing whatever it takes, right? This is not a pitch that you're going to be able to hit off the wall or hit out of the ballpark, but you've got to find a piece of grass, get on base and allow the rest of the lineup to do their thing.
Diana Simon getting some counsel from her head coach, Eileen Morales. She'll be the next batter. Morrissey at second, Vukadinovic at first. Part of that conversation inside that circle, and you've been part of them plenty of times, Jess. Hey, we're up by 6 runs.
Yeah.
Don't need to be perfect. Just throw strikes. Remember, we lead the nation in fielding percentage.
Yes.
They do allow us to wear gloves behind you.
Exactly. Let us work. Don't try to be too nitpicky. Even though that pitch to Vukadinovic really was a good location. It was really a testament to Vukadinovic being able to go down and find a way to make good contact.
Pulled the string there on Simon. Nothing in 2. Couple of defensive changes we should note. Greta Grassel has taken over in center field, and Ernstes now at first base. Pop fly right center field. Sells hustling over, pulls it in. Oh, and That ball slipped out of her hands, trying to throw that in. Both runners will advance. I think Sells never got a good grip on it. Just slipped in front of her.
Yeah, I think it looks like Sells might have.
And you know what? Beg your pardon. That ought to be Richardson now has taken over for Sells, but boy, her first put out there that turned into an error.
Yeah, Richardson, it looks like she might have been fooled by Marisi's hard couple steps off the bag. And that's the purpose of that, is to draw a throw.
All right. Well, we were warned that there are a lot of substitutions, a lot of changes. It might not always match up to the monitor. You can't always see those maroon numbers from our vantage point. That was actually, I do believe Richardson out there. So, yeah, do they score that? An error they do. Only the 4th error of the season charged to Mississippi State. 2nd and 3rd as Medina takes in on the inside corner. And yeah, that is breaking news in Starkville. An error by this Mississippi State defense. So 2nd and 3rd, 1 away. Medina with a single and a stolen base. Lays off, takes the ball. And backdoor again, 3-1. Low ball form, and the bases are loaded.
Good fight by the Yellow Jackets to come out and have patient at-bats, good contact, good base running.
Boy, how big are those home runs looming now in the Mississippi State 7th? Derek Bowen McKinney will have a visit. Their pitcher, Peja Gould. Duffel in the 9-hole due up next, 0 for 2, but came in tonight on a 7-game hitting streak. Some uncharacteristic lack of command by Gould. Only been allowing an .097 opponent batting average. Had only walked 8 across their 34 innings of work this year. That's 2 walks in the inning.
Great discipline by the Yellow Jackets, knowing that they can go in there and take the counts deep. They don't need to jump on first pitch. It needs to be a pitch that they can do damage with, and then resulting in 2 walks to get bases loaded. This is what you want to see out of your team if you are Coach Morales at the bottom of the 7th when you find yourself down 6. This is the type of fight, the type of approach you want to see from your offense.
Oh, and Maddie Duffel, the fam is here supporting 00. True freshman from Sonoya, Georgia. After a standout career at East Coweta High School, the left-hander rounded out to first in the 2nd, a strikeout swinging to retire the side in the 5th. Draws the bat around. And now strike 1. Want to stay out of a double play because you also have Willer in the on-deck circle. Alyssa Willer with a double and a home run. Off the end of her bat, she caps it toward her head coach. 0-2. And all 4 of Mississippi State's runs at the top of this inning came with 2 outs. The Sells home run and then the Bernardini 3-run shot. Pitch from Gould. This is the top of the zone. Bulldogs trying to run their win streak to 4, move to 15-1 on the year. Low and outside, 2-2.
Good work there by Rivera, keeping that ball in front, saving a run from coming in. It's a big moment for the freshman here in the box.
Got her, strike 3 looking. Ran that onto the hands, and Duffel ran out of answers. 2 outs. First strikeout looking tonight against this Georgia Tech lineup. Like we had told you, Mississippi State 2nd nationally in strikeouts looking. The job not done, though. Top of the order in Willer, who takes ball 1 outside. Alyssa Willer with her team-leading 6th home run to lead off the 6th inning. Also doubled to lead off the 1st. Bounced off the plate, 1-1. Morrissey the runner at third, Vukadinovic at second. Martinez at first. One swing might make this really interesting.
This is who you want in the box if you're the Yellow Jackets, right? She's been a catalyst for the lineup. She's been clutch. She was clutch last year as a freshman. She's been showing it so far as a sophomore. She's just as comfortable, right? This is who you want in this moment.
Leads the Jackets with 25 RBI. Bounced along third, curving foul. This was Willer's last at-bat. Remember, Faircloth had struck out 7 in a row before Filler fed the trees in center. Hitting .464. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the pitch is bounced in the hole and through for a base hit. To hold up the runner at third. RBI by Willer. It's now 8-3. And Willer does it yet again.
Yeah, the sophomore just does a good job of doing whatever it takes. This is not a phenomenal piece of hitting. She rolls over this pitch low in the zone, but she's able to make contact and put the ball in play, finds a hole.
Grayson Tucker singled her last time, her lone hit of the night. She starts 0-1. So they ding Gould's ERA, which came in .41, one of the best nationally. Looking to earn her second save of the season now. Check swing, quickly 0-2. Tucker, who had a couple of RBIs against the Bulldogs last year in Starkville. 8-3, but bases loaded. And Gould gets a wave and a miss. And a strikeout ends this ball game. Mississippi State, their heart rate got raised a little bit in that bottom of the 7th, but it was the 4th spot in the top half that gave them the insurance to pave the way for an 8-3 win over Georgia Tech.
This is the fight you want to see from the Yellow Jackets, putting a run on the board at the end of the 7th, but just not able to overpower the arms that the Mississippi State Bulldogs have in the circle. It was really all about their pitchers tonight.
Faircloth gets the win. Johnson takes the loss. Mississippi State improves to 15-1. Georgia Tech falls to 12-7. For Jess Sinclair, our entire ACC Network crew, thanks so much for watching this presentation of ACC Network Softball. Our final tonight from Beauborn Field, number 19, Mississippi State 8, Georgia Tech 3. So long from Atlanta. We'll see you next time on ACC Network.